What up, guys? I'm AK here from my Ichigo channel. Today, I'm just going to briefly be going over why Ichigo is stronger and faster than people think. Because I see him massively downplayed in a lot of people's minds and debates, and people that are saying like he peaks out at like planetary or like multi-continental because his fight with Aizen was only destroying mountains, which would not. That's ridiculous. So I'm kind of here to just shine a little light on that. I'll be kind of brief, so I'm not going to make this a 20-30 minute video. We're going to jump right in. So right off the bat, Ichigo in base tanked a Sarah from a Menos Grande, and at lowest feet, that would be a 220,000 miles an hour, being a light attack. In the novel it said this. It's a light attack from a Menos Grande. So we won't put it at FTL because that's kind of a high ball, 600 million miles an hour. So we'll put it lightning speed. Ichigo in his base without any Ryatsu control was that fast. So to say he's not fast right off the rip is low ball. So you have this guy in base at 220,000 miles an hour. And then he does training with Urahara. So again, he would have more Ryatsu control at that point. So he would be even faster, but for the sake of the argument, we'll say he's still 220,000 miles an hour. Whatever. So then they go to the Soul Society, and then Ichigo has his first, I would say, big fight with Kenpachi. And as soon as Kenpachi, pops up, Ichigo is crapping his pants. He has no idea what's going on. He's never felt anything like this before. The spiritual pressure is literally collapsing him. And he has no Ryatsu control, so really, he fought Renji and won, but only showed potential of Ryatsu control. And in this fight he does actually talk to Zangetsu and does get power from Zangetsu, so we could actually do a ×5 power up because he's finally learning how to control his Ryatsu and going a little faster, obviously. So from his fight with Renji to now controlling his Ryatsu with fighting Kenpachi after Kenpachi almost killing him by stabbing right through Zangetsu. We could do the ×5 multiplier, 220,000 miles an hour, and we come out with about 1,000,000 miles an hour while fighting Kenpachi. So you have Kenpachi and him fighting on 1,000,000 miles an hour, which obviously, again, is nowhere near FTL. That's 670 million miles an hour. And at this point, it has been calculated out that these guys were around mountain to multi-mountain level. Hitsugaya did an attack that separated the clouds, or he did something with the clouds, and it was calculated out to be in mountain potency and attack. So, and I would put a Kenpachi slightly above Hitsugaya because it's Kenpachi. So, yeah, but not crazy. So they're mountain to multi-mountain busters here at that point. So the argument for that, yeah, that right now, yeah, they're multi-mountain, not even FTL. Yeah, great, you guys won, congratulations. But they both fall, Kenpachi says Ichigo won, but Ichigo did fall first. Whatever. He gets healed by Yoruichi and does training with Yoruichi and whatnot. Gets much faster. Learns the flash step. Actually, not quite. I'm sorry, I take that back. He uses Yoruichi's flying device to go and rescue Rukia because he senses that she needs his help. And Byakuya and Yukitake are on the bridge, and they both sense Ichigo, and they're like, the energy seems like a captain, or the Ryatsu seems like it's a captain. And now Ichigo pops out and tries to rescue Rukia. Byakuya's like, that's not going to happen, bro, and releases Senbon Sakura, but Ichigo can actually keep somewhat pace now. So even Ichigo in his Shikai, not even Bankai, is somewhat relative to lowballed Byakuya's Bankai, or Shikai. Sorry. And he could see Byakuya's flash step finally, which before, obviously, we know Byakuya literally one-shot Ichigo, no problem. So Ichigo has grown it substantially at this point. Like I said, being on 1,000,000 miles an hour, if not a little bit higher at this point. And then he does get knocked out by Yoruichi, and she does go train. She takes him to train and claims that she's going to be able to take him and beat Byakuya within 3 days. So Ichigo, within 3 days, does actually learn Shikai and Bankai, both. So if you take that and have his Bankai when he goes and fights Byakuya, that would be a ×10 multiplier on his 1,000,000 miles an hour. We're going to lowball for you guys. So times 10 would be 10 million miles an hour and a little faster. It's probably like 11 million miles an hour right now in his Bankai against Ichigo. Or, wow, that's a good one. His Bankai against Byakuya. And Byakuya is not losing. Like, I hate to say it, but Byakuya was actually beating Ichigo with his Senbon Sakura Kageyoshi in Bankai. Ichigo was doing very well, was keeping up, was blitzing by Byakuya, but Byakuya was just surprised. Once he adapted, he had no problem. Like, it was, Ichigo was gonna lose, okay? He was not gonna win that fight. Just want to clarify that real quick. Either way, we have him at about 11 million miles an hour right now. So, that gets over with, and we're just gonna jump to the Espada arc when he gets bodied by Grimmjow in Bankai. And that's crazy, because, like, Grimmjow in base beats the hell out of a guy that can go 11 million miles an hour at this point in time. So, Ichigo does do training and whatnot, and does get a slightly good buff. So, at a ×5 buff with his new Bankai and training, he's around, like, 55 million miles an hour now. And that is Bankai, that's not base Shikai, that is now a trained Bankai Ichigo in the Espada arc. So then he goes back and does fight Grimmjow, and it's pretty much on Grimmjow's side for the first half of the fight. Like, when he goes Resurrection, he's throwing Ichigo through buildings and in like these tower things in the Espada arc in Wako Mundo. So, and then Ichigo does actually do a hollow mask training. He hasn't brought it out quite yet, but as soon as he does, we can say that is a ×10 ×5 to ×10 buff. ×5 being a low ball, ×10 being a high ball. So with his hollow mask on now, Ichigo should be able to go 270 million to 550 million miles an hour. And that's not FTL yet. That's okay. That's totally fine. That's not FTL. And these guys are at least Continental Plus, because it has been stated that a Cero from one of the Espadas can blow up Las Noches, which has been calced out to being like low country to like continental. So like, and if you do blow something up and like disintegrate it, the calc would be higher, because disintegration's obviously more potent than just blowing stuff into multiple pieces. So you have these guys now that are Continental Plus fighting against each other and going near FTL speeds. And this is not even top 5 Espada guys. This is number 6. So Ichigo does actually end up overpowering Grimmjow and does end up beating him. So we could comfortably say that he's around like 300 million miles an hour with his Bankai and mask on. 300 million to 550 million, because he would get a little bit stronger at his peak, you know, base hollow mask. So like low ball will be like 300 million miles an hour. And then he goes and fights Ukiura, which it's a pretty good fight, you know, when Ichigo goes Bankai and Ukiura's in his base. In his base, yeah. So Ukiro in his base would obviously tier to Ichigo, so we can put him easily around like 300 million miles an hour again. That's like base Ukiura, no amps. And he does have 2 releases. First being a ×10 or ×5 release. We'll lowball it for you guys, because I don't want to get, you know, absolutely insane and hurt you guys' brain and be like, oh god, he's that fast. So we won't do that. So 300 million miles an hour ×5 would be around 2,750 million miles an hour. Now we are in fact breaking FTL speeds. It's like, it is just basic math here, guys. It's lowballing, honestly. So, and I've watched most videos that no one really does want to do the calcs. It does take a while, and it is big numbers, and it is. But we have Ukuriora in his first form beating the shit out of Bankai Ichigo with his mask on. Like, it's not even close. So even if you put Ichigo at 550 million miles an hour, Ukiura would still be ×5 that power, or that speed and power. So even in his first form, he's Continental Plus to multi-continental, being to do that Cero feat over and over and over and over and over again in Wako Mundo. Like, he can do it ×5, easily ×5 times over. And then you have his second release, Segunda Gatapa, which would be, again, I'm just going to lowball for you guys, a ×10 buff. Okay, a ×10. Bear with me. 27,500,000,000 miles an hour. I didn't do how fast light against light that would be, but that is multiple times faster than light. Okay. And he does kill Ichigo. Like I said, it's not close. He kills Ichigo. He doesn't even need to go this form. He just wants to show Ichigo that, hey, I can do this kind of power. And then Ichigo dies and goes Vasto Lorde, which would be a times 10, but I'd kind of lowballed it for you guys and did a times 5 buff, because God forbid I highball something and a Naruto fan gets pissed off. Shut up. Ichigo souls in Naruto verse. Sorry. Just gonna throw it out there, piss people off, but it's true. Like, he'd kill everybody, not a problem. Vasto Lorde with a times 5 would be around, and bear with me, 137 trillion miles an hour. And again, that's much, 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 much faster than the speed of light. So, even at this point, at peak Espada arc, we have characters that are exceeding light by multiple times over, if not tens of times over, if not hundreds of times over. And that can be, tiered from, again, low-ball Continental Plus to multi-continental. And this isn't even when he fights Aizen. But here we go. Bankai Ichigo is a times 10 because it is the next form of Bankai. It is literally fused with him. So it is a times 10 buff. If we take, and pre-Aizen training, he'd be calced around like 35 million. He's not Vasto Lorde Ichigo. That's just a way named form. He'd be like 35 million miles an hour with low ball, or 35 trillion with low ball, and then Bankai Ichigo would times 10 that, so he would be, we'll say 40 million pre-Aizen training. So this is a little easy for you guys to understand. So 40 trillion miles an hour pre-Aizen, and then he goes Bankai training, which would be times 10 that. It would calc out to being like 400 trillion miles an hour at this point in Bankai Ichigo. Now, again, hundreds of times faster than speed of light, if not at least tens of times the speed of light. So I didn't calc that out because I'm not doing that. That's way too much. And the power at this point, he would equate Bankai Ichigo, and no one likes to hear this, does tier much above Vasto Lorde. Like, much above. Like, it's pretty, like, if we calculate, the Vasto Lorde was 140 trillion miles an hour, Bankai would tier above that. And that's just how it is. Like, why would Ichigo get a new form that's weaker than that form? So, and even Aizen claimed he was above all Shinigami and all Hollows, everything, transcended everything. And if you take that for what it is, Yamamoto, by just merely existing, was going to destroy the entire Soul Society, which is equation to the Earth, which is what, guys? Planet. Planetary plus. And Yamamoto was holding back. He was restraining himself. And Ichigo fought Aizen and was bodying him. Bankai Ichigo would be at least planetary plus. He tiers above Bankai Yamamoto. That's it. Like, not even an argument at this point. Like, it's been multiple videos have shown it. Calcs have shown it. Bankai Ichigo was fighting a transcended being, and this isn't even Mungetsu. This is not even Mungetsu. Mungetsu would be 2 to times 5 fucking faster and stronger than Bankai Ichigo. Like, Yamamoto does not tier to that. It's nope. But it is nice to have that Yamamoto feat of him destroying the Soul Society to kind of base this off of that. So yeah, you have these guys at a super low ball planetary plus, and like tens of thousands of times faster than the speed of light in Bankai. Mugetsu is just way faster at this point. Mugetsu calcs out to being like 2 billion miles an hour at times 5 multiplier. So, and it was in True Shikai Ichigo. We'll get a touch into that real quick in True Bankai, obviously. So True Shikai Ichigo was stated by Yuha to have the same power he had when he fought Aizen. He meant Mugetsu. So he is the same power he was in Mugetsu now. And it's just Shikai. So at low ball, True Shikai would be like multi-planetary to like solar system, because again, we're done low balling shit at this point. Like, come on, stop playing with yourself. Stop it. Kurosaki Ichigo would be like multiplanetary to solar system plus, and his speed would be again about 2 billion miles an hour. Way, way faster than the speed of light. Thousands of times faster than the speed of light. And then you have his Bankai, which Yuha was scared of. Scared of. A guy that could literally see the future, change the future, and people say he has limitations on seeing the future. No, he can see everything in the future for how long he wants to. And Ichigo scared him. So again, Bankai being a times 10 buff would be calculating out at like 8 billion miles an hour. And it could be higher. It could be, I don't know, but that's what I came out with. And again, he tiers higher than Yamamoto, which, and I'm just going to say this, Toxis and Matscale had a debate about True Shikai Ichigo and True Bankai Ichigo being Universal Plus, and it was actually proven that True Bankai Ichigo is a Universal Buster. We'll touch on that because this is a power video too. Yamamoto, by merely existing again, obviously going to destroy everything, which includes the Muken, which is an infinite zone, the Valley of Souls or Screams, which is another infinite zone. So 2 infinite zones he's going to destroy, and the Soul Society does have stars. It has multiple stars. A solar system only needs to have 1. This had thousands of stars. So to say the Soul Society is like just a planet level is correct, yes, but if Yamamoto was going to destroy everything, planet plus to multiplanetary to even maybe like solar system plus to galaxy buster, and Ichigo would tier much higher than Yamamoto's Bankai at Ichigo's true Bankai form. So, and now we get into Yuha's power. Yuha was going to destroy again everything, not just like Yamamoto, everything, all the worlds that existed, all 3 worlds, the Muken, everything. And the Gargantua, which is a portal to every single world, he was going to destroy that too. So just destroying that would be destroying a portal to other dimensions. So that's a dimensional feat just in its own sake. So, and Yuha did absorb the Soul King, who did create the universe. So, Yuha having all this power stacking on top of him and whatnot, and being able to erase everything and recreate everything in his image would easily be he's creating everything. So creating his own world, universe, everything. And True Bankai Ichigo would tier to Yuha, so obviously Ichigo would be relative, so Universal is not like a crazy thing to say about Ichigo in his True Bankai form. Now yes, obviously he would have to be in True Bankai to be this strong. Like any other form lower than this would be True Shikai would probably be, again for you guys' sake, like Galaxy Buster at least. That's just what it is. And you guys tell me how you feel about the comments about my calcs and whatnot, but I watched hours on top of hours of videos, and like to say Ichigo when he fought Yuha wasn't throwing universal busting power it's just stupid. Especially since Yuha was literally going again to destroy everything and recreate everything in his own image. And the Yamamoto feat, you have that too. Like, that's just more stuff on top of Bleach. I really want to see Bleach stop being underplayed. It's not planet level. Like, in the mid-level they are. Like, mid-Bleach, they planet level already. So, thank you guys very much, though. Let me know how you like it. Probably going to do a versus video next time. We'll see. I may do a Kenpachi or Byakuya scaling, because that's honestly 2 pretty interesting characters to watch. But, yeah. Let me know how you guys feel. Bleach first is way faster and way stronger than half y'all think. Just saying.